In the last section, we discussed about Lenz's law. According to Lenz's law, the direction of the induced EMF is such that it opposes the cause which produces it. So, what is meant by that statement? Let us discuss. Look at the first figure. Suppose the north of the magnet is entering into the coil. When the north of the magnet enters into the coil, the current in the coil flows in the anti-clockwise direction so that the adjacent face of the coil facing the bar magnet will be north pole. So, north and north will repel. As a result, work has to be done to push the bar magnet into the coil. That mechanical work is converted into electrical energy. Now look at the second figure. In the second figure, we withdraw the magnet from the coil. So when the bar magnet is taken away from the coil, then what will happen? We are just taking away the north pole. Then what happens is the current will flow in the clockwise direction so that the side of the coil which faces the bar magnet will be south pole. So south and north will attract. Therefore, work has to be done to oppose this attractive force, to overcome this attractive force, to pull the magnet away from the coil. So in both the cases, that means in both the figures, what we came to know is the motion, the current in the coil is formed in such a way that it is trying to oppose the motion of the bar magnet. So if no external work is done, the bar magnet will come to rest. Understood? So extra mechanical work is done by the external agency to push the bar magnet into the coil, that is in the first figure, and extra mechanical work has to be done by the external agency to pull the bar magnet away from the coil. That mechanical work is converted into energy. Therefore, we can say that Lenz's rule is in accordance with law of conservation of energy. It is the mechanical work which is converted into electrical energy. So, Lenz's rule is in accordance with law of conservation of energy. Now, the next topic is motional EMF. What is meant by motional EMF? It is the EMF which is developed across the ends of the conductor due to the motion of the conductor in a magnetic field. It is the EMF induced across the ends of the conductor due to its motion in a magnetic field. That is called motional EMF. So let us see how to derive the expression for the motional EMF when a conductor is moving in a magnetic field. This is a metallic frame and I kept a conductor PQ. This is conductor PQ and this conductor PQ is free to move on this rail, metallic rail. Imagine magnetic field is into the plane of the paper. So I put into sign like this. Into sign shows that the magnetic field is into the plane of the paper. L is the length of the rod. L is the length of the rod and X is the distance. So you imagine a rectangle PQRS. The area of this rectangle will be L into X. Am I correct? Okay. Now, as I told you, magnetic field is into the plane of the paper and the conductor PQ is free to move on the metallic rail. And as the conductor PQ is moving towards left, what will happen? As the conductor PQ moves towards left, what will happen? The area of the rectangle PQRS decreases. That means you can see X will decrease. So area of the rectangle PQRS will decrease, and due to the change in the area, due to the decrease in the area, there will be a decrease in flux. And as a result, induced EMF will be formed. So we have already studied the equation for the magnetic flux. Phi is equal to BA cos theta. Phi equal to BA cos theta. Here theta is 0, so we can write phi is equal to BA cos 0, and cos 0 is 1. So the answer will be BA. Now, as I told, when PQ is moving towards left, there is a change in area because of the change in X. Okay. Therefore, we are writing induced EMF E is equal to d phi by dt. According to Lenz's rule, the direction is opposite to the change in flux. So I just put the negative sign. E is equal to minus d phi by dt. So minus d by dt of BA. And here area is changing. B remains constant. So I take B outside, and d by dt of area. Area can be given as L into X. So I wrote d by dt of Lx. Here, look at the figure once again. L is remaining constant, but only X is changing. So since L is also a constant, I am taking L also outside. Dx by dt. Since dx by dt is equal to minus v, rate of change of position is called velocity. Dx by dt is equal to minus v. We can write induced EMF E is equal to B L V. Here dx by dt is equal to minus v. So when I put minus v here, minus and minus becomes plus. And finally, I get the answer as E is equal to BLV. Now, why I put the negative sign here? Dx by dt is equal to minus v. Why? It is because the velocity is in the decreasing direction of x. So that is why I put a negative sign here. And the equation for induced EMF is E is equal to BLV. Now, if capital letter R is the resistance of the loop PQRS, then there will be a current formed. And induced current can be given by induced current I can be given by induced EMF divided by resistance. I equal to E by R, which is BLV by R. So this is the equation for the induced current. Induced EMF is BLV, induced current is BLV by R. Now let us see how to find the direction of the induced current. The direction of induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. So according to Fleming's right hand rule, stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger mutually perpendicular to each other. Thumb represents the force acting on the conductor. Forefinger represents the magnetic field. Then middle finger will represent the induced current. I say once again, we stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger in mutually perpendicular direction like this. Thumb represents the force acting on the conductor. That means the motion of the conductor. Forefinger represents the magnetic field. Then middle finger will give the current. That is Fleming's right hand rule. So the direction of the induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. Now let us apply Fleming's right hand rule in the previous figure what we did. Look at the arm PQ. Look at the arm PQ. Arm PQ is moving towards left. So I use the right hand. The magnetic field is into the plane. Magnetic field is into the plane. So my forefinger is directed towards the board and conductor is moving towards left. So my thumb is towards left. Okay. Then look at my middle finger. My middle finger is coming down. That means the direction of induced current will be in this direction. So current will flow like this, then current will move in this loop. This will be the direction of the induced current. I just say once again, keep the forefinger into the board, thumb is towards your left, then you can see the middle finger downwards. So the induced current is as marked in the figure. Okay. Now the same expression here, I derived the expression for the induced EMF and induced current based on the change in the area. Now the same expression can be derived based on the Lorentz force which we studied in chapter 4. So in the exam they will ask two types. Either they will ask obtain the expression for the motional EMF considering the change in area. So then you can write the first derivation. Sometimes they will ask obtain the expression for the motional EMF based on the Lorentz force acting on free electrons. So I am going to make that expression also. Figure is exactly same as before, so there is no need to draw a new figure. The figure is same as before, but what is the consideration that we are doing? Suppose the conductor is moving towards left. Since it is a conductor, it has lot of free electrons. So conductor is moving towards left means actually free electrons are moving towards left. And these free electrons are moving in a magnetic field. So when free electrons move in a magnetic field, it will experience a force, magnetic Lorentz force, which is given by QVB. As a result of this force, all the electrons will come towards the end Q, whereas all the positive charge will occur at the end P. So from P to Q, there will be a potential difference. There will be an electric field due to the displacement of the charges. I say once more, free electrons have the conductors have lot of free electrons. As the conductor move, the free electrons also move in the magnetic field. So it will experience a force which is given by QVB. Due to this force, the free electrons will move towards Q, whereas the positive charges will accumulate at P. So there is an electric field from P to Q. And electric field equation you already know, it is E into Q. So when electric force becomes equal to the magnetic force, when electric force becomes equal to the magnetic force, the displacement of the charges stops. So we can write equilibrium is attained. So what is meant by equilibrium condition? The electrical force will be balanced by the magnetic force. That is why I wrote Fe is equal to Fb. At that time, charge separation will stop. So Fe is E into Q. Fb is QVB. Now I can cut Q and Q. So you will get E is equal to V into B. And E is our electric field. Electric field can be written as potential difference divided by length. Potential difference divided by length. Therefore, the above equation will be V by L is equal to small letter v into B, or capital V is equal to B L small letter v. Small letter v is velocity, capital letter V is potential difference. Now, isn't this potential difference is called induced EMF? Yes. So instead of potential difference, we can write induced EMF. So induced EMF E is equal to BLV. So again we derived the expression for the induced EMF based on magnetic Lorentz force. Now if I get the induced EMF, what is induced current? I is equal to E by R, which is BLV by R. So expressions are same, only the considerations are different. Okay, thank you.